What's up guys, this is Heiss. Today we're going to take a visit to the New South Wales Rail Museum at Thirlmere, just outside of Sydney, Australia. The museum is home to Transport Heritage New South Wales, who brought and operated the trains that we saw at the Great Train Race. The museum is impressive and well set up in its own right for enthusiasts and the general public alike, but it had two big reasons why I wanted to visit. The Australian Legends, 3801, and the Big Garrett, 6029. Before my trip, these were the two things that I really knew about Australian steam, so I knew that they would be cool to see in person, especially after hearing how everyone involved in a heritage railway preservation down there talked about the 38er. You gotta see it. You gotta come back when the 38er's on. Everyone said that. Cheers, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay. No worries. We'll see you on the 38er.
Yeah, sounds great. Great to meet you guys. Keep it running well. Both the 3801 and the 6029 were down for mechanical work while we were there, but Daniel Page, the rail operations manager, was gracious enough to give us a tour of the museum and of the workshop, so we could see these beautiful locomotives up close. Let's take a stroll through and see what we can see at this incredible museum along the way.
One of the earliest locomotives in New South Wales. Not the earliest, but pretty close to it.
Pretty close, 1877.
Yeah, so the railways started in New South Wales in 1855.
Okay.
So it was kind of 20 years later. As you can see, very basic British design.
Yes, very, very British. No.
I wouldn't be lining up for tender first operation on that loco in the rain.
No. I wouldn't want to run it I mean, it doesn't have a spring buffer at all. No. That would just be a wha-bam, wha-bam, wha-bam the whole way.
The British locos, their crew comforts on their cabs were way behind until very late.
Sure. It's beautiful though. Oh god, even if it is internal cylinder, internal valve gear. Just put the whole thing inside an oil bath. Save everyone some trouble, you know? Well, every single human on the planet wants to see the American mind comprehend the Garrett, so.
You don't know mine, but that thing, it scares me.
Something that the American mind cannot comprehend.
Garrett gang.
Well, this is the Garrett. We have two of these here.
Right.
One of them is operational.
6029 in bits, yeah.
Yep. It's getting a whole new front water tank constructed at the moment. And this one is the Relic. It's been on display. Hasn't run since the 70s. I'll let you try and work it out.
Oh goodness. It's just bizarre that we never had any Garretts in the U.S. So magnificent, but so strange to me.
It gets better. You recognise the polling pocket?
Yes.
They never polled here, but these are all Commonwealth cast frames. These came from the US and went to Bay of Peacock specifically for these locomotives.
So the U.S. cast the frames. Correct. And then, okay, and it's a 484 plus 484. I knew that.
But believe it or not, this was a branch line unit.
These are the biggest for Australia, at least, then, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely the biggest for Australia, but the fourth most powerful by output in the world. Went East Africa first, I think one of the Zimbabwean classes, and two South African ones, then these.
I won't spoil all the Garrett fun right here, right now. I want to do a dedicated video on why the US never had them, and we'll be talking a little bit more in depth about the fun, nerdy things on the Garrett in that video. Let's continue on with the tour. Special thanks to my own guide of Australia, Rex Anger, who was a wealth of knowledge about literally everything, Garretts especially.
They used to jump off the tracks, that design, apparently, and they got abolished from passenger train working reasonably early on.
It doesn't look like you've got a ton of pivot in the lead truck with the way it's set up. So, yeah, and look at this thing. This is beautiful.
So if you're from America or Canada, either.
Alco RS looking thing, yeah.
So this kind of design should look somewhat familiar to you.
The control stand looks very familiar to me. I spent all of January programming an aero gauge Alco.
Now get a little closer to home.
I was going to say, this is distinctly more American than British looking at this point. other than the clock face and the... Oh, I see what you mean.
Transition cut clock.
Yeah. Oh, that's just bizarre. Cool.
I have actually seen this loco run when I was about 5 or 6.
And with a cross compound slung off the side of it. All right.
Like a day.
Yes.
Are you guys going to Canberra or Goulburn?
Yeah.
You might see 5917.
5917 is
Where's it
actually
at the moment?
Goulburn. It's just been steamed. I think they've been putting roller bearings in the trailing truck and the tender
Okay.
frame.
Yep.
Basically just to do the ergonomic thing. So it's not quite operational yet, but should be. I'm going to have to bring it back.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I've had the worst time so far. I'll have to come back. Goodness. Yeah, so very, very American looking there, and then you pivot, and then extremely British looking.
So that 30 outside,
Yeah.
this is what it was built from.
Okay, so it was made out of one of these guys.
Yeah. It was basically the electrification just prior to the Great...
It's a Hudson tank engine?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the 30 series, or what were known as the S's before that, were a suburban tank engine, basically ran all over the metropolitan system.
Right.
In the 20s and 30s, so about the Great Depression era, there was a large-scale electrification program, and a good portion of this fleet was rendered surplus.
Huh.
However, at the same time, the government railways is desperate for motive power rejuvenation and all sorts of other issues, so they said, right, we've got all these surplus suburban tanks doing nothing, and we've got this huge fleet of ancient moguls and other things out in the country that's just tired.
So they
Let's save some money.
rebuilt them into 10-wheelers. All right.
And
Cool.
persisted like that basically until the end of steam.
How about that?
Tender.
All right. I do have to say that just from a museum standpoint, we're always trying to improve what we do out in Colorado. You guys have a lovely amount of interpretation for the general, the general populace, not just the train lover. Just seeing how clean the front entrance hall was, and then seeing the fun details here. You guys have a good setup. That's nice. Yeah.
There are a lot of museums that look on Thirlmere with great envy.
Yeah. Yes. Anytime I come to a museum and I see this sort of stuff, it's like we'll get there someday. All that prevents us from our dreams is lots of time and millions of dollars. So.
This is what we transport our sheep.
Aha, double-decker stock car. Yeah, just kind of like ours too, actually.
Still has original sheep droppings in there.
Oh, you gotta love the original sheep droppings, yeah.
Right.
Gives you a good interpretation.
Yeah.
This is our Erie built at home.
Okay, I was gonna say it wasn't quite Alco, it wasn't quite EMD at the same time. Neat.
On a 42 class, which is more of an F7 type.
Right.
Up, and then the Erie style, and then you get to the Alco style behind.
Right.
The evolution of the
That's cool.
Bulldog engines.
It's neat to see them, and that's one that I'm going to be doing a 101 on why the states went away from the full car body Bulldog kind of locomotive. But you guys stuck with it for a long time because you positively pressured the inside, yeah?
Yes.
Keep the sand and keep all the bits out. That's pretty cool. It's a great use case for that sort of thing.
Actual General Electric contract.
Really?
Yes.
Cool.
So that hence the Erie built. But
Right.
of course,
So
the GE era when they were still using Alco internal.
so it is a GE, but it's yeah, okay.
And to this day, Gninins basically still make GE locomotives in Australia.
Well, GE doesn't make GE locomotives anymore, so
That's right.
it's all Wabtec now, of course. Oh, this thing's beautiful. Anytime you see drop shadow lettering on something and varnished, that's beautiful.
It's fitted with a whole bunch of Westinghouse brake equipment
Sure.
designed to act as a training room for
Air brake test stands and stuff, yeah.
And so absolutely you can read all about it here, and I don't have the keys to open it up at the moment, but you can have a look through the door. And
Is it all plumbed up?
yeah, it actually works.
That's too cool. I will take a look. Oh yeah, that is nerd pornography right there. Yeah.
So there's enough brake pistons there, etc., to simulate an entire
Right.
goods train.
So you can see how everything propagates when you manipulate the valves and
And you can you obviously get a feel for the time it takes.
right.
Different actions on the brake valve to make their way to the back of the, or the rear of the brake pipe, on the rear of the train.
Too cool.
And the instructors who ran this car used to, they engineered in certain defects into the system.
Sure.
And were able to get their students to go and find and identify the defects and try and rectify them.
Too much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. And it's 6ET, the best brake schedule.
There's a few different brake stand types.
Sure. Cut them in, cut them out, choose which one, practice. Yeah. That's just cool. That's wicked.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's always the thing to teach.
Yeah.
Anyone can learn to pull the stick, but running automatic air is the tough thing.
Absolutely. Very early carriages, but really do show, for the same era, that early 1900s era.
Very British.
Very British.
Very American. Yeah.
And really, one wins in the end.
I don't know if you've picked up on it yet, but we'll talk about it a little bit more later. Australian railroading is basically this meme. The big stuff. Oh, here we go. The 38s.
That's right. So you had 5 streamlined ones, also known as the better New Haven I-5.
Yep.
And then the remainder of the class were built in this blunt form, and it was effectively a one-for-one build, I believe, between Clyde Engineering and the Railway's own workshops. 3830 was the last member of the class. This is actually owned by the Powerhouse Museum, and for a time was actually in running order. I've seen this engine run
Cool.
when I was 13. So yeah, very modern.
Yeah.
Again, Commonwealth cast bed. So hence the polling pockets in the front, because that's just a standard fitting.
Right.
And just about every mod con that you could get for 1943-44. So the story goes they were meant to have been mechanically stoked, but somehow or another never quite happened, but they'd specified only the top grade Newcastle coal for these things, and as I understand it, it's right on the upper limit of what a human can shovel themselves without help.
What a beautiful engine. And you can see the modernity to it with the big box pock style drivers and everything, and a proper nice heavy duty trailing truck.
Were in 1943 they're the last word in modernity in New South Wales.
Sure.
And so
Gorgeous.
The Toplink expresses out of the state, except anywhere where they couldn't fit.
Cool.
The North Coast.
That's right. So the North Coast, it turns out, was too bendy and too tight for them. And the main north, where I grew up in the New England region, basically the bridges were too light. So they were the only places they didn't run.
It's neat that you've got the bookends. The 01 and then the 30, both here. And 01's getting some TLC.
Yep, we might go and have a look at it.
Oh, well, twist my arm.
Oh. Only threatening you with a good time your entire trip, mate.
You have been, and I don't mind it one bit.
Volkswagen before?
Of course, my first car was a Volkswagen.
Well, this is the bus equivalent. And, this is the railway solution to paying its employees before electronic banking.
I was gonna say we used to just find the most diminutive, sad locomotive and pull one passenger car. This is a much more efficient way to do it.
They had a small fleet of these, and they ran around the state to country depots, and there was on payday they'd show up, and the pay officer would sit at the window and distribute everyone's wages.
Lovely.
Of course, they were a target for theft, and one was blown up on the main line, only 20 kilometres or so from here.
Oh, wow.
And the robbers were never caught, and the cash never recovered.
A successful robbery.
A successful robbery.
Goodness, fun. I gotta say, I'm envious of all of your covered storage. We have about 7 spots that are covered, and the sun and the snow are awful to the equipment, as I'm sure you know.
Harsh climate conditions, not good for preservation of the state's heritage.
No.
And yeah, we were lucky to get a roof over this collection in the early 80s, which has kept it in reasonable conditions.
Right. I see nose cone. You get a very modern looking roundhouse. It looks like a proper modern
2009 it was constructed.
diesel shops. Yeah.
And a new build roundhouse.
Yeah.
And an existing turntable. It was 50 or 60 years old by the time it came here. 105 foot, which is long enough to accommodate a Garrett locomotive.
Sure.
Came out of one of the larger rail depots in Sydney, and still operable now. It's our only access to the bays in the roundhouse, actually, this turntable.
Sure.
We have the little shunting locomotive that lives in the shed, and we can shunt various items of rolling stock in and out of the bays.
With a Good Friday. Okay, yeah, I might.
We'll go in and have a look through the workshop, and I can show you some of the projects.
I always love to see the stuff in progress. It's funny, you said that they're putting a new cistern on, water tank on the big Garrett. That's what we're doing on one of our engines right now.
Yep.
Had to design the whole tender tank in SolidWorks and get it fabbed up, and it was quite the process.
Sorry. Fashion icons.
Oh yes. They knew I was a white hat, so careful, management's here.
And so this is where the state's operating rail heritage fleet is restored and maintained. Currently we've got a 45 class diesel locomotive, ALCO type.
Yep.
In the second bay here, getting various repairs, getting structural repairs.
I was gonna say you've got the whole car body off of it.
Bogey overhauls, traction motor overhauls, fuel tank repairs, everything.
Fair bit of work. Well, that'll be lovely to have. Oh, look at your. Oh, is that that's like a 48-inch Bullard. Gotta love a VTL.
Another one of the Goodwin ALCO 44 classes. This one's being reactivated for service at the moment.
Cool.
Be running in the next few weeks.
Gotta love to see a heritage workshop where you've got so much going on. That's good things.
It's pretty quiet for our standards actually in here. Everyone's off on break after Hunter Valley Steam Fest.
Sure. That's the busy event, big weekend, you know?
We take a lot of people up there. So here's 3801.
Here she is.
Minus tender.
Minus tender, minus rods, minus quite a bit.
So the current works being undertaken to that is to renew the crossheads.
Okay.
Crossheads are they've been cast and they're off being machined at the moment. We're expecting them back into the workshop in about the next fortnight.
Okay.
Then reassembly will begin, and we'll have this engine back out on the main line towards the middle of this year, we anticipate.
Wonderful. Beautiful to see her in person. Crosshead work is always a lot of fun. We've redone the crossheads on 2 of the engines in just the last 3 or 4 years at our museum, and that's a lot of tapered fittings.
Go around the front if you have a look.
Sure. Very shiny. Very pretty. Oh yeah, got the string line through the bore, and oh yeah. That's a whole load of fun. Yep. Yeah, all the maths going on. Yeah, I had to remachine a number of the supporting pins on ours because they were machined straight. Yep. And it turns out that's not great for holding everything in the right spot, so we had to redo tapers, and that was a whole chore. Quite a bit of fitment there.
You'll have to come back over and have a go and let it play again.
Oh yeah. What a beautiful locomotive. Pictures don't do her justice.
How are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Not bad.
Good.
Heiss, this is Daniel Griffiths. Heiss.
Great to meet you.
Big fan of the channel.
Oh, cheers. Appreciate that.
You know? Yeah. Heiss is over from the States. He's been up at Hunter Valley Steam Fest on the weekend.
Oh, nice.
It's a good bit of fun. Yeah.
Daniel Griffiths is one of our steam locomotive maintainers.
Right on.
He knows about 1,000 times more about them than me, so if you have more technical questions, he's the man.
Always, there's always another thing to learn. That's the real truth about him. Yeah.
He's been volunteering here since he was maybe 17 or 18 years old, and just started full-time employment with us 2 weeks ago.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Made a career out of it.
You're stuck now.
I think I'm stuck before.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You might as well get paid. You're already stuck.
Maybe you can explain to Heiss what you're about to do to it.
Well, I've superheater elements.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
What kind of superheaters does she have?
Long one.
Long. Is it are they 5.5-inch flues, or are they smaller? Is it?
I think they're 5.5.
Okay, and it's 4 pipes per bundle that go down each?
More.
Okay, yeah.
I pulled the superheater elements out of the garret
Yeah.
in August last year. Then I put new ones in, and now that there's a delay on the water tank, it's going to get tubes.
Yep.
So Ben's like, can you pull the superheater elements out of the garret? Like, I did this in August last year, and it hasn't even had a match put in it.
And now they got to come back out. Oh, God. Yeah.
It's got a ready-made platform.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess if you don't have the water tank on it, you just take them out and set them on the flat car known as the front engine.
Exactly what we do.
Huh? Well, hey.
It's probably the best engine to pull superheater elements in.
Yeah, well, once you've got the cistern out of the way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
What else should we show Heiss around here? Griffo? Follow Griffo.
Sure.
Tractor's pretty cool. Getting this all set up.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
We get the string. Yeah. Keep the center line of bore and figure out where everything's going to sit.
And we've got a tram on it as well.
Oh, you got to do the tram as well. Okay.
It's out at the moment.
I love the polished tires. It's a good look.
It is a good. And if you keep onto it, it's easy to keep them.
I believe it.
Commonwealth castings.
Yeah. Looks like is it a one-piece cast frame all the way back? It looks like it.
Yep, come out of the States.
Yeah.
Well, not the States, it would have come out of Canada, I think.
Oh, okay. Sure.
It's supposed to arrive before World War II kicked off, I think, or at least be started, and the war held them up. And the supply chain issues as a result.
Cool. That's a ton of work. So are these new, I mean, they look fresh machined. Are these new guides as well?
Brand new everything.
Oh, wow. So all the motion right here.
Everything. This is getting done in-house now.
Gorgeous.
Basically for very much the same reason.
Sure.
See all the timber crates over there? It's a brand spanking new portable boring machine.
Oh, nice. So you're going to get it bored too?
So that'll go board, there's bull rings. Somewhere you all would have walked past the casting.
So you're giving her all of the running gear treatment. That'll be real nice. When you get fresh rings, we did fresh rings in one of our engines all the way around, and I mean, just the noise.
Everything is.
Once it's fresh, it's just
I've led to believe this is a scaled down version of an 800.
I believe it. I mean, it looks just like it in terms of the way the drivers are set up and
crack, that staccato crack that they.
Yeah.
This thing's not far behind it.
I believe it. Thing.
Griffo's a qualified mainline fireman on them as well, so he's that whole discussion we had earlier about whether they should have been fitted with a mechanical
stoker or not. Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's what one looks like.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fitted with a Griffo. There you go.
Exactly what it is.
Oh, cool.
How much gold would you shovel in an average shift on this Griffo?
Tons.
Tons.
Yeah.
Newcastle would be 6 ton, 5 ton, because it's a 47 square foot.
Oh, 47 square foot. It's smaller than 491's Firefox.
Is it really?
That's not fair. Yeah, she's 54 square feet.
Is it?
I was going to say width-wise, it looks about similar, and then length-wise, it's just a little short. And it's sloped all the way down. That's not fair. That's objectively not fair.
So is 491 mechanically stoked?
Yeah, the stoker is equipped as Heiss. Yeah, it's about 10 foot from the door to the front of the box.
Yeah,
so
right.
Yeah.
And hand fired.
And hand fired. Wow. Yeah. With a number 5 scoop that's about yay big. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And she's the goofy one. She's got thermic siphons. The rest of her sisters never had them. So I mean, at the museum when you're not working, it just the safety's just going the whole time. She just makes too much steam. This thing's got a bunch of arch tubes in it.
Yeah.
5 of them. Yeah. Is it all rigid bolts? Does it have any flexies?
Flexibles are up.
They're up top, further up.
Shading.
Okay. Well, where it's convenient to pull the caps to look at them, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of resemblance. I think there's a New York Central engine that, if you look at this,
Yeah.
streamlining on New Haven I-5.
Yes.
I think
Yeah, the New Haven engines
they've
are,
taken a lot
yeah,
because you look at all of our older stuff,
right.
the 35. Oh, you should go and have a look at the 35 class.
Yeah.
And have a look at our baby.
All right,
He has seen it because he was at $100.
Oh yes,
it's true. That 35, she was a sweet, I mean, she won the race.
that is an absolute gorgeous thing.
Even if I was riding behind the 32 class, it's fine. Now, I tell you what though, I have the coolest video because I was in the last carriage behind the 32 and they came up and just sat there and just got right into it on the 35. And you watch, I mean, I've never seen an engine work that hard at speed from that close. The noise and the way it looked, I mean, you're gonna love to see it. It was so cool.
It's pretty special. There's not too many places in the world you can see.
No, I mean, I had to wipe some cinders out of my eyes afterwards because that was about the coolest way to see a steam locomotive. Absolutely.
3 years ago, we.
So you're telling me that there's a fair amount of crap under the jacket, huh?
So this is another 38er, but without the streamlining. So only 5 of them got
Right.
the nose cone.
Right.
The 25 are non-streamlined.
Quite a bit of madness hidden underneath the streamlining, and almost everything you guys have is bell pair. That's cool.
Yeah, the only thing that's round top is the garage.
Really? Huh.
So our 36s, have you been down to have a look at a 36 class?
No, we'll see that on the way out.
Oh yeah, you're going to do it, you've got a systematic loop.
We'll do the operational roads on the way out.
Well, there's its butt. You can tell by the way that it's green.
Yep.
Oh, and she's got rollers, huh? That's nice.
Much more than
That
very
whole
well.
engine is on rollers.
Oh, the whole thing's rollers. That's
From factory.
you gotta like that.
It wasn't a converted thing.
They said we want to build a big badass Pacific and we want it to go fast, and so they did.
Yep.
Not as fast as you guys, but
Fast enough.
And also,
70 miles an hour is really good.
but also be
I believe it.
steep hills.
6 Ks, 70 miles an hour, and 600 Ks, Sydney to Albury, with the coal stopping halfway. Yeah,
That's gotta be too much fun. A couple of friends from the weekend, yeah.
Yeah, here they are, all stabled and ready for their next outing in a couple of weeks' time.
That's right. 3265 is coming down for tubes soon, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's
That was
finished
its
now.
last run.
Right. I was saying it's a shame she didn't win. It was her last one.
It's a stitch up.
You're not going to let that go, are you? You get all this great footage of the 35 class and you're still complaining about it.
35's great. It's basically our hall at home.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, is he going to
Based off
like
an
an original
Great
one?
Western
Yes,
Railways
that's right.
Saint
If I carve it
design.
up
Sure. Yeah.
Some degree.
The bloke that
No, I
designed that
haven't tried yet.
moved to Australia.
Ah. So it's very, very similar to the Saints then.
Listen, even the sound of this,
Yeah.
and go and listen to some of the Great Western stuff, and you're like,
It's pretty similar. Yeah.
it sounds the same.
even the original photos,
Cool.
some people.
We'll go down and we'll check out the operational roads
Sounds good.
and then we'll get you guys on the 2 o'clock train.
The one before the 38.
Okay. That's quite the size of it. A big 10-wheeler.
Yes, this is certainly the all-Australian workhorse.
Yeehaw.
Minimal influence of anything except Aussie engineering.
Sure.
Yep. All
And,
75.
can do just about anything a 38 class can do, it's just not as pretty.
But hey, there's something to be said about a big engine, big black choo-choo that'll do it. Still spoke drivers. I love the additional counterweighting that's gone on.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Still a narrow firebox.
Yeah, because no trailing truck, so it's tucked in there.
Big cylinders.
Yeah, those are pretty sizable. And I assume they're kicked up again just slightly for loading gauge reasons.
Yeah. So.
Just goodness, just barely, just a little kick.
They were originally fitted with a round top boiler as built and got converted to bell pair.
Bell pair.
Running with a light.
Just that little extra bit of heating surface is sometimes that's just what you need.
We've got to.
Yes. So here's the Garrett. This is the operable one.
Getting a little bit of A little bit of work done to it, eh? Cool. Ah, yes, and it's got a flat car on the head end.
Sands tank.
Yeah.
And you can see Griffo's superheater elements is about to pull out.
Right. Yes, the superheaters that have just, yeah, they look like they just went in. And now they must come back out. That's a chore. At least it's not hot. Last superheater elements I took out were in a locomotive that was hot the day before because it popped a superheater flue, and that was not a pleasurable experience for anyone involved. Shiny mechanized madness. Gotta love to see big choo-choo. Sure, it wasn't getting to see these impressive machines out on the main, but getting to chat with the folks like Griffo who do the work and seeing the work itself up close really shows off the beautiful craftsmanship performed here at Thirlmere. I hope you enjoyed the snippets of the tour as well. The whole museum really is world class and very well presented. If you get the chance, absolutely give them a visit. That said, we haven't seen quite everything. We saw the 3001 run past a few times, and they were kind enough to hand me a cab pass. Let's go for a little ride, shall we? This makes the inner nerd in me very happy.
Something about the signal box, actually. This signal box isn't from Thirlmere originally.
Okay.
It actually came from a race course.
Huh.
That was one of the railway lines near the race course had the signal box, and they were going to tear it down. So we picked it up, moved it to Thirlmere, and dumped it where it is.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, hi, son. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Pat.
great to meet you, Pat.
Yeah. I'm one of the volunteers here.
Right on.
Yeah. Everybody knows hi. Yeah, everyone does. Yeah.
Somehow.
And yeah, for a 120-something-year-old cab, it's never changed.
22 years.
There you go,
122.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
This was originally staying at display when they retired it in 1996, I think it was, 97. Then they
retired it that late?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she actually hauled an express train behind Flying Scotsman when she came out here to visit Australia.
Oh, cool.
How
about that?
5910 as well. So we've got a few locomotives that were hauled behind or with Flying Scotsman in about 1988
Cool.
when she came. And she actually visited Thirlmere as well. So they did train tours.
Gotta like that.
Buxing them back and kicked them around Thirlmere with the 44.
I'm going to introduce you to Carl and Corey. Carl's our
Corey.
driver. Corey's our fireman today.
Lovely.
And if you'd like to join us for a run to Buxton, there's a space on the engine for you.
Doing well. Mark. Nice to meet you guys. Cheers.
They know who you are.
Oh, okay, good.
The introduction is only partially necessary, but they're very keen to meet you, and
Oh, lovely.
feel free to ask them any questions about the operation of the locomotive.
Okay.
They can explain all the technical aspects far better than I can. And yeah,
Cheers.
go for a run to Buxton and back. It's about 40 minutes.
All right.
And I'll go write you out a cab pass now, so it's all official.
Love that. All right, gents. How we doing? Right on. It's nice you guys have deck hoses. I was hearing that the Brits don't do that, and it's pretty necessary on a coal burner, you ask me. So,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I like to get the clean.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the whole challenge with this, but cool. It's been such a wonderful thing getting to experience your guys' railway stuff down here. It's a beautiful blend of American and British, and it's special in its own way. It's been cool, and everyone's been so lovely. So appreciate you guys letting me come along with you.
Yeah, not a problem, mate. All good. Whereabouts are you from?
From Colorado in the U.S.
Okay.
Nearby Denver.
Yep.
Yeah. So I
Not South Park.
near South Park actually. Yeah, I've driven through South Park many a time actually.
Yeah.
It is a real place. I know that the TV shows the whole thing, but yeah, that's yeah, it's a wonderful part of the world. It's pretty, but very very different than here. But this has been wonderful. Yeah. In addition to the big events on the main, like Hunter Valley Steam Fest, Thirlmere operates steam excursions from the museum down to Buxton, 40-minute-ish round trip. Who doesn't love a steam train ride tied into the museum? As well, in the very near future, the line is going to be reactivated even further to Coalvale, adding another 18.7 kilometers to the run.
Alright, so end of next year, or end of this year, we'll hopefully be going another 23 k's that way, up towards Coalvale.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, hopefully. Starting along the run, which
Yeah,
is good.
yeah. That's a good clip, but, you know, a little bit more is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, it gets really hot coming past the green guy there, and it just wants to get going.
Right. Oh, yeah,
We got to pull up here, eh?
I could tell, yeah. You saw the tracks come up, and it was like, all right, and the fire door is glowing orange. You're like, all right, yeah,
That's basically what I had the other day, and I'm so good at it.
she's getting ready. And then, yeah, just as she's settled in and ready to rock, and then it's, oh, okay, time to
I
stop.
love it.
Yep,
So have you ever been to Casa Bonita in Denver?
I have. Before and after it closed and reopened, I experienced the old and then the new stuff. Actually, the funny thing is, I live about 10 minutes from it.
Oh, now I'm jealous.
I live right there. Quite ridiculous.
I don't care about the YouTube stuff, the
Right.
fact you've been to Casa Bonita. For real.
It's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
Every Mexican restaurant needs cliff divers, you know. And meanwhile, I'm over here going, I'm on a steam train and I'm seeing wild cockatoos. That's happy brain chemicals up in the tree there.
Cockatoos?
Yeah,
Oh, they're everywhere.
I know.
Like bloody kangaroos.
I know. Not special for you guys, but
Wait, what about the whistle?
why not?
Go on, give it a once. There you go.
You've done that before.
Couple times. There we go. I take it ruling grade was that way.
Yeah.
So it's about 1 in 4, 1 in 39, 1 in 40 at the surface
Okay.
here, isn't it?
Like between here at Buxton.
Yeah.
It's 140 right here.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
And then
That's pretty reasonably stout, yeah.
It's going the other way, it's 1 in 30
Okay.
for about 5 days.
Well, that'll be fun. Put your fireman to the test.
No, thank you guys.
Yeah, cheers.
boys.
Yeah.
I'm going to get off for 5 seconds and have a breather.
I suppose I'll get off and leave you guys to your
What's
business.
the name of your channel, man? I'll come and give you a follow.
Hyce, Hyce. Just take a look at one of them links.
Alright, man. Thank you.
Cheers.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, great to meet you guys. We'll do.
I assume some of that's going to end up on there eventually.
Probably in about a month.
When we arrived in Australia, I'd been told by several friends, dude, Thirlmere, just go. And I knew 3801 and the Big Garretts were here. But what we saw was so much more than that. On top of that, hearing from the people who do the thing, those in heritage rail preservation down under, was just an absolutely wonderful experience. The conversations with the folks in the workshop, around the museum, and on the footplate were fantastic, and it helped me understand not just how cool a few particular pieces of machinery are, but the spirit and culture of why they do what they do. We do love the cool trains, but it's the cool humans that keep them running. I can't thank everyone with Transport Heritage enough. They really rolled out the red carpet for me, and it made for a fantastic visit. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversations, the video, and seeing the legends behind the scenes. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you all next time.
You might end up on the YouTubes.